love them. So check them out. Check them out. So welcome, everybody. It's great to have you here. My name is Max Ryan. We speak on abiding non-dual awareness here. That's what I speak on. I've been called a teacher. I've been called a million things. I've been working, focusing my attention on the idea of non-dual awareness, which is really freedom, which is really what's happening right now. Now, it's very important to understand that we're going to talk about the Course in Miracles today. I've been doing, practicing and studying the Course in Miracles for over 40 years. So, from a Course in Miracles point of view, there's two things going on. There's an egoic illusion of the world going on, and then there's the truth happening, right? So, the egoic illusion of the world, it's not an illusion when you're in it. For example, right now, all of us are aware of the humanitarian horrors that are happening all over the world, especially right now in the Middle East and in Darfur and Sudan and in Ukraine. The numbers are astronomical. And that, from a Course in Miracles point of view, would say that's an illusion, but it's not an illusion in the world, right? So you don't do a spiritual bypass and go, well, that's not really happening. It's not real. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about how the egoic mind projects onto the blank screen of the world its fears, its angers, its insanity, but also projects its love, its humanity, its compassion, and its peace and freedom. So that's what's happening. And it's important that we look at what's happening in the world, because what's happening in the world is always some form. I'm going to speak from a Course in Miracles point of view once again. So the Course in Miracles would say that you have to understand the problem before it can be solved. So a problem will keep coming up over and over until you really understand what's going on. It's why you keep having the same things happen in your life. And then you're like, why does this keep happening? Because the problem is not going to be solved unless you have to see the problem. You have to understand the problem before it can be solved. So this humanitarian crisis that we're going through on this planet right now, and especially in the Middle East, is a problem. And it is a problem in the illusion, right? It's a problem in the illusion. It's a real problem, that's for sure. But, so A Course in Miracles would say, in effect, that what we are to do, we're asked to do, is to look at the problem and realize that the problem has a solution. There is a solution to the problem. That is living in duality, which is completely fine. Non-duality is the truth, but in duality, there are problems, right? So, all the horror, all the sadness, all the outrage that is happening right now is a doorway to some kind of enlightenment. And so, as we do this, as we are all collectively in this together, no one gets out unscathed. Everyone's in this together. If you're watching the news or you're not watching the news, we're all in this together because there's only one of us here. There's only one of us here. I was watching something earlier today, and everyone on this broadcast was saying, I am a Palestinian. I am a Palestinian. It was really beautiful. It is us. That is us. It's not someone over there in Palestine. It's not someone over there in Israel. It's not someone over there in Sudan. That is us. There's only one of us here. So as you look at the horrors of the world, realize that ultimately it is us. It's kind of like I am my brother's keeper. You're not just your brother's keeper. You are your brother. You are your sister. It's important that we understand that. Course in Miracles would completely agree with that. Completely agree with that. So take a big deep breath. If you look at my social media, I have been posting things, and you'll know, you'll see. But that's enough of that. Does anyone, I want to open it up now to see what people are thinking about what I just said. We can get to the course in a second, but this is actually more important. Yash says, we are life. I completely agree with that. Anyone, this is a community here, right? So there's a community is here to support and engage and be a place for people to talk. So what does anyone want to say? There is no right or wrong. There's only what's happening. There's only what's happening. So does anyone want to say, I know that this is a challenge on a very human level, what's going on. So anyone want to contribute to that conversation about what's going on for them? I'm here to open up a question. Let me ask you a question. How is the situation? Let's talk about the Middle East. How is the situation in the Middle East affecting you? What is happening for you? Jenny says, yes, this is a challenge. Yes, it's a challenge. For sure. For sure. What's the challenge here? Let's talk about what is the challenge here. How is it affecting you? How is it affecting you? People can feel hopeless. People will go into anxiety. People will go into depression. People will go into a lot of different things. People will go into action. How is it affecting you? It's a challenge. How is it a challenge for you? Sue, thank you for bringing it up. It seems like the atrocities of war and conflict have been going on for thousands of years, and we have yet to realize what the problem is. That's true. Albert says, I'm with you. Thank you. It's true. I mean, I could tell you what the problem is. I could tell you exactly what the problem is. And it's so simple. It's the most simple thing in the world, actually. And it says, I have to put a bubble around me to keep from absorbing the hurt. Very understandable. Very understandable, for sure. Mm-hmm. I'm very involved in this because I've studied this for many, many, many years. And I have to step back, sometimes. It's overwhelming. It's overwhelming. I'm in New York City, and it reinforces the fact that we see each other as separate. Thank you very much, Yash. That's exactly right. It reinforces the fact that we see each other as separate. If you read my last article in Substack, please go to Substack, and I talk about the subject-object conundrum, the conundrum of subject-object. This is what we're talking about. Subject-object. Me, them. Them, me. That conundrum is the problem. The problem is that there's always a me and there's always a them. There's always a me and there's a coffee, and there's a me and there's a computer, and then there's a me and there's meditation, and there's me and there's this. This is the problem. It's the conundrum of subject-object duality. Duality is the problem. This is why I'm so passionate about sharing with you, helping you somehow to get a little glimmer of the freedom of oneness, of non-duality. The more you get that, the more you understand exactly what the problem is. Separation always, always, always breeds suffering. Always. I'm right, they're wrong. And on the other side, they're saying, I'm right, they're wrong. Right? Carol says, I'm very disturbed by the I have to be right dynamic. Uh-huh. Wendy says, I did an 8-hour healing event that sent love and healing to the world. That's nice. Beautiful. Beautiful. Whatever. There's nothing wrong and there's nothing right. Good for you. Everyone do what they can. It's like, here's the truth. The Course in Miracles says there's only two things ever going on in the illusion. In the illusion, there's only two things going on. Everything is either love or it's a call for love. Everything is love or a manifestation of love, or it's a call for love or a manifestation of a call for love. Obviously, this is a call for love. Will you hear the call? Or will you hear the call and pretend like everything's okay? It's not okay. It's not okay. I am here to tell you, it's not okay. Even though that is a dualistic perspective, everything is a call to come back to truth. It's a call for love. It's a call to come back to truth. Every problem is a call for love. How are you responding to this? How are you don't have to take action, but hearing the call is one of the most important things that you can do, especially now in our advanced human society. How are you responding? What are you doing? And I will say this, the Course says this, it is always, always darkest before the light comes. But the light only comes through us. It doesn't come from somewhere else. It doesn't like suddenly someone comes down and says, we have the answer. There might be an answer, but it's us. I hate to tell you, it's you. It's me, right? Wendy says, I don't watch TV, so I'm often late on the news. I do have a moment of sadness for the news of the world and do not take it on. Just send love and light. Whatever you want to do, it's fine. There's nothing wrong and there's nothing right. Personally, I would say that the Course would say, that you have to know the problem before it can be solved. That is exactly what the Course would teach. So knowing the problem is very important, right? There's always one answer. Unconditional love is the answer every time. Unconditional love is the answer every time. But if you don't know what you're what you're sending unconditional love to, you don't have to get mired in it. But listen, the Course would say you can either learn through love or you can learn through pain. And then it says, but you're probably going to learn more through pain. So the pain of the horror of what is happening, to let that in and then say, this is a call for love. How will I participate in the human experience here? What will I do? How will I be? It might mean meditating more. It might mean going to a rally. It might mean getting on Insight Timer and bringing up the hard topics. It might mean a lot of different things to different people. But hearing the call for love is the most important thing. Because love, unconditional love, heals all things. It heals all things, no matter what, right? Actually, this is good. Okay, so I'm going to read a little bit of the Course, okay? So we're on For They Have Come. It's a great lesson, and there's a couple things in here I think is good. So we're reading chapter 29, number 9, For They Have Come. Okay, I'll read this. I'm going to read this. You ready? Here we go. Think about how holy you must be, from whom the voice for God calls lovingly unto your brother, that you may awake in him the voice that answers to your call. Let me say that again. It is very applicable to right now. Let me say it again. Think, but how holy you must be, from whom the voice for God calls lovingly unto your brother, that you may awake in him the voice that answers to your call. I just said it. It comes through us. Doesn't come through something else. It comes through us. The love comes from us. Doesn't come from someone rescuing us or someone coming back from the dead or a president or a military or whatever. It doesn't come from that. That's an external source. Those are external sources. The Course here would say, think about how the voice for life, for unconditional love, comes through you for your brother, comes through you for your sister. It's all about you. It's all about you. One of the biggest things in true spiritual awakening is you have to become a spiritual adult. And a spiritual adult does not pretend things are not happening. It says, here it is, right here. And I'm moving into it. What is my role here? Then you can do the prayer from the Course. Dear God, tell me where to go, tell me what to do, tell me what to say and to whom. And then shut up. Dear God, tell me where to go, tell me what to do, tell me what to say and to whom. And if you have courage enough, you will hear an answer. Something will occur to you. And you'll be like, oh, uh-huh. And that thing might be, as a Course, I need do nothing. That's fine. But something else might occur to you also, right? It's through you. This section is called For They Have Come. For they have come. It's like there's no waiting anymore for the rescuer. There's no waiting for someone. I've said it. I've already said it. They have come means you have come. You have come. Right? If not us, then who? There's that famous line. If not us, then who? If not now, then when? You now. You now. Take a deep breath. And think how holy he must be when in him sleeps your own salvation. With his freedom joined, however much you wish he be condemned, God is in him and never will you know he is in you as well while you attack his chosen home and battle with his host. Regard him gently. Look with loving eyes on him who carries Christ within him, that you may behold his glory and rejoice that heaven is not separate from you. Beautiful, beautiful. I'll read that again. You ready? And think how holy he must be when in him sleeps your salvation with his freedom joined. However much you wish him to be condemned, God is in him, and never will you know he is in you as well, while you attack his chosen home and battle with his host. Regard him gently. Look with loving eyes on him who carries Christ within him, that you may behold his glory and rejoice that heaven is not separate from you. Take a deep breath. Wow. Right, Yash? Wow. Is it too much to ask a little trust for him who carries Christ to you, and that you may be forgiven all of your sins and left without a single one that you cherish still? Forget not that a shadow held between your brother and yourself obscures the face of Christ and the memory of God. And would you trade them for an ancient hate? The ground whereon you stand is holy ground because of them who is standing there with you have blessed it with their innocence and their peace. The blood of hatred fades to let the grass grow green again and let the flowers of all white and sparkling in the summer sun. The blood of hatred fades to let the grass grow green again and let the flowers be all white and sparkling in the summer sun. Absolutely perfect. It is perfect. Listen, I didn't even go over this today, and that's just how it happens. It's perfect. It's perfect. One of the things in A Course in Miracles that I love so much is that there's many different things that are miracles, right? There are many different miracles, according to A Course in Miracles. According to A Course in Miracles. But one of the most beautiful is, to me, when an ancient hate becomes a present love. And the only way an ancient hate can become a present love is if you hear the call for love and you answer it. That's it. Because if you're staying in what someone said here earlier, if you're staying in I need to be right instead of I need the answer, I need to love, I need more unconditional love flowing through me, doesn't matter what side you're on, everything is a call for love. And a miracle is not only possible, but it is required at this time when an ancient hate can become a present love. Take a deep breath. If you get a chance, read that section, for they have come. It is chapter 26, section 9. It is incredibly applicable to what's going on right now. All right, everybody, I will talk to you really soon. And remember, you have to know the problem before it can be solved. And remember, everything is love, or it's a call for love. Will you answer the call? All right. Love you. See you later. Bye-bye.